Hey, how we doing? Before I get into this message, I just wanted to say thank you for clicking onto this video and being open-minded to a open-minded perspective on betterment for yourself. And being open-minded to what is the normal outside of society. See, people get into their egos too much thinking. People get into their egos and they believe that what they know is all they know. You don't think like that. You know that there's so much that you don't know. So much that you don't know to where you know nothing. So thank you for clicking onto this video. Abundance to you, prosperity to you, love to you, guidance to you, divine guidance to you. And secondly, with this video, I have two more things. So secondly and third. Secondly, I just want to say, don't mind my voice. I'm getting over a disease that I'm recovering from, and I'm getting better every single day, every single minute. Third, though, I was about to look through my journal. This is my new journal, by the way. Thirdly, if that's a word, I just wanted to say experience is the best lesson that you can learn from and gain growth. Whatever that may be. Don't sit there and, I'm not going to tell you how to deal with your emotions, but personally, I'm not one to sit there and mope about how I'm feeling or mope about what is going on through my life. Okay, if you don't have anybody in your immediate circle to talk to, that's okay. If you just have yourself, that's cool. Other people, they do help, but to a point, this is something that you need to figure out for yourself. My finger went that way, but I try to point this way. Sorry, excuse me. But just with going through this lifestyle of van life with my girl and our dog, it has, within the 2 months that we've been out here, it's shown me so much experience, so much to a point to where I'm grateful for it. My ego is grateful for it. You went and you get to that point when you not only accept yourself, but you're ready for change. Physically, consciously, spiritually, right? When you're ready for change, these lessons will come full force at you. They will. And how you respond, how you allow your ego to respond to this emotion is how you will grow past that. And I'm not saying you can't be angry, you can't be frustrated, you can't be sad. Yes, you can. But how do you bounce back from that? How do you say, okay, let's pick up the pieces and let's move forward with this? Let's observe this situation and its emotions that were never really there. Okay, so you feel me? And that's getting into the topic of this video. Not there. Sorry, wrong page. Innerstanding and understanding and overstanding a individual or being who practices low vibrational or unconscious acts can help you alchemize that same energy into a betterment for self. And here's why. So I feel like with this experience, a lot of people, or you're not really a person, it's just a word, it's just a title. You are a creative, a being, whatever you want to call yourself, an observer. A lot of people getting into it, and myself as well, will get into this mindset of you can only be on the high vibrational scale when it comes to physical acts as well. So that would be basically not going to parties, not drinking alcohol, not smoking weed, not playing video games, not eating junk food, things like that, things that pertain to those subjects. And intuitively, growing through experiences, I've understood that to be, not only to practice spirituality, but to experience this dual perspective of consciousness within a human observation, just for myself, speaking for myself, I needed to, and I mean, you may agree to this as well, I needed to experience flowing to my root chakra, then going to my sacral, then my solar, then my heart, then my throat, then my crown. You know what I'm saying? Flowing up and flowing back down and flowing up and flowing down. Then that means going to the club with my girl, going for a drink with my girl, hitting a blunt, eating a pizza here and there. Now, obviously, within these things that you choose to do, if you want to call them vices, if you want to call them low vibrational acts, whatever you want to call them, within these acts, it's about you still being present within those acts. Acts, it sounds like I'm saying acts like this. I'm saying acts, A-C-T-S. You still being, sorry, I'm congested. You still being present within those acts is the portal or the gateway into you alchemizing that experience, you alchemizing this individual walking up to you and asking you for money, or asking you, or telling you a story or whatever, just speaking from personal experience. You alchemizing that whole ordeal, that whole experience, not just that one experience, but from the moment you went out to the city or to the bar or to the club or to wherever you're going to, right? Wherever you're going to, from the experience that you left to the end, right? You being conscious of that experience. You not losing your sense of self, of you being the observer. And you will be brought up with lessons within those moments. Sorry, one second. Lessons will show up to you not every single second, I'm not saying that, but when you least expect it, something will show up. And that is because the 12 laws of the universe, the first law of divine oneness, consciousness is everything. Consciousness hides itself within code that we are taught to think is reality. Water bottle, like I just picked up. Cans, banana, apple, oranges, avocados, blender, microwave, deer, horse, dog, cats, necklace, hair, ears, hands. These are all just reflections of yourself. It is no different than the consciousness that thoughts flow into. And no, not all thoughts are yours. Not all thoughts are yours. And when you start learning about the ethereal realm and astral realm, and understanding how thoughts come to you through frequencies or through wavelengths beyond the physical, because where does a thought come from? Right? When you start learning these things, that's when it really starts putting life into perspective. And it's such a beautiful thing, because you can only grow from there. You're like a little seedling. You can grow into this magnificent tree, just in a metaphorical sense. I'm not saying that you will grow into a tree, but just metaphorically, your spirit will, how do I want to word that? Sorry, as I'm talking, I'm getting more and more congested, so this video won't be too long, but let me think of how I wanted to word this. The more and more open-minded you become into living for yourself, and not in a selfish way, because you can't be selfish, but you can be selfish. That's a contradiction. But Sorry, I'm getting off topic, but if you understood what quote unquote life is, you will see that life is perspective, and there is no good and evil, but there is good and evil to a sense, but there is no good and evil. There are no good and evil forces. It's just perspective, higher, lower self. It's that thin line that you walk in the middle of, and that's where you find yourself. That's when you understand where thoughts come from and the intention behind them. Whether that's your ego's thoughts, whether that's an outside entity's thoughts, like an astral leech, whether that's a thought form coming from your coworker or someone in the car next to you, or whatever the case may be. You can intuitively not resonate with that, but intuitively you can feel that, right? Like, for an example, I was reading this audiobook, and one of the examples was, if you walk into a room and a couple are in that room and they just had an argument, you will walk into that room, you will feel that density, you will feel that leftover energy from that argument. You will feel that, right? You may think sometimes, you may think of something, right? Like, this was some crazy ass stuff. I'm not gonna say crazy ass shit that happened to me the other day, right? I was looking through my journal, not this one, but I was looking through another one. And basically, I was looking through at this page of movies that I wanted to watch. And I was going back because I haven't completed all of them. There was movies like X-Men Apocalypse, Avatar Way of the Water, Matrix 1 and 2, Transformers 2007, the first one. And I can't remember all of them, but there's like Attack on Titan on there. Movies and animes that I wanted to watch with my girl and just by myself, and so on and so forth, right? One of those movies that I seen stuck out to me because I hadn't watched it, but I watched the newer one with LeBron James, Space Jam. Yo, when I tell you, I remember, and I don't know why Space Jam, when I was looking through my notes or my movie list, Space Jam spoke out to me for some reason. I was like, huh. Later on that day, when me and my girl, we were doing laundry, right? I literally seen a dude walk out from Vons. If you don't know what Vons is, it's a grocery store. It's like a Safeway. If you don't know what Safeway is, it's just like a more bougie grocery store. When I was walking into that store, why did I see somebody walking out with a Space Jam shirts with Michael Jordan on that shit? And the Looney Tunes characters, I was like, whoa, what the fudge? You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that happen all the time. And it could be you're thinking of someone, you're thinking of a family member, then they call you up. I feel like to a point, you're about to hear a train horn. Don't mind that if it goes off. It didn't go off. Surprisingly, it usually does. A train passes by right here. But when you study quantum, not only quantum entanglement, but quantum realities, and basically understanding Spider-Verse or the Doctor Strange madness of verses. What I'm about to burp. Never mind. When you understand these topics and that these superheroes are just your ego and alternate realities of you in different forms, I'm kind of getting beyond the topic of what I'm pertaining to, but just understand that whatever you think, my dog is trying to get down. Whatever you think is more than likely in some way, shape, or form a dimension. You have all types of dimensions. So why isn't it that within this plane of existence, on whatever you want to call this, because it has no form, it's just a holographic simulation. There is no physical, but there is a physical, but there is no physical. It's just a hologram. When you understand that there is no bound, there's infinite realities within this reality. I could have decided to go and sit down and not create this video. I could have decided to drive to a fast food chain. I don't eat fast food. I've been plant-based for over 3 years now. But I'm just saying, those thoughts do come to me sometimes. Not necessarily with fast food. No, because I don't like to eat humans. I'm just saying. And that's a whole nother thing. But I will make a video on that too. A more in-depth video, because I have made videos on that in the past, but just talking about child trafficking and trafficking of consciousness, that's a very wide topic. Then going into human hunting parties, and the parties that you don't know of, like all-white parties and things of that nature, where kids are brought in and they're chosen and shit, like disgusting things like that. But yeah, getting back to the point, because I forgot what I was talking about. I just feel like, as a spiritual being that wouldn't call themselves a spiritual being because that's just a title, but as a spiritual being within this human experience, the goal of it is to transcend out of this experience, right? Because you do not want nobody. Now, some people do because that's all they know. But nobody with a common sense, directed minds, logical thinking minds, clear thinking minds would want to come back to this reality, quote unquote, or this lesson, and live out this experience again. Because why do you want to come back and pay bills? Why do you come back and drive a car? Why do you want to come back and have to eat and have to think and have to question and have to make money and speak? Like, that's the thing. Speaking, thinking, all these things, driving, getting gas, it's exhausting. Spiritually, I would not be doing these things. Spiritually, if I was a government official, which there is no government, but just speaking metaphorically, not metaphorically, but theoretically, if I was one of these politicians, if I was the man in power, quote unquote, but there is no man in power, if I was, I would not be making y'all go to work. I would not be making nobody to have to, speaking of low-income neighborhoods, I would not make you your only available option to eat fried chicken or fast food. You can talk about Church's Chicken, KFC, things like that. You know, because why is it, it's a great perspective, why is it that in low-income neighborhoods there are no Whole Foods? There are no stores where you can go and buy fruit and food that are plant-based. Why is it? You know why. The reason being is because within lower income neighborhoods, usually you have a certain demographic within those neighborhoods. Sorry, my voice is getting hella dry. And within a carbon melanated being or a 90th being, getting into that topic as well, their genetic structure is different than a six ether being. It is different. This is another video topic as well, and I would love to get into that topic, so I'm gonna write that down for Justin. Slow your thoughts down. I'm gonna get into that video as well. But basically, all life comes from a carbon melanated woman, 90th being, 90th being in general. My skin so too, right? I'm not no shapeshifter. I'm authentic. But then you ask the question, why is it that these low-income neighborhoods with predominantly carbon melanated beings have fast food chains on every single corner of liquor stores? Why is it that they're more prone to gang violence? Or they're more prone to joining? It's a mindset. It's a hive-minded societal mindset within a mindset. So, and I feel like too, learning from your past self and not being embarrassed of your past self, not being embarrassed of the things that you went through, not being embarrassed of, not being embarrassed of you asking out this girl in 9th grade and the girl's laughing at you, not being embarrassed of, I'm speaking from personal experience, you can probably tell, not being embarrassed of asking this girl out in the same grade, not being embarrassed to step outside your comfort zone, even if you fail. Because if you fail, are you really failing? Are you really failing if you're growing? It's just a learning lesson. And nowhere does that say failure. If you're scared to fail, you will never grow. You will never grow into that magnificent tree that I was talking about earlier. Just speaking through a perception, through a 3D perception, right? You understand the point. You could stay all your life within Saturn's cube, and I don't know why my legs are falling asleep, but you can stay your life within Saturnalian occultism that's projected onto you, and you accept that as belief and be happy with that little square. Or you can grow into such a divinely guided and protected and magnificent bombastic that's a crazy word to use, but I use it. It's just such a beautiful being observant of the scripts that play out within this coded simulation, right? I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day. And this video is 23 minutes long. I'm gonna end it right there. I didn't even get into my notes that much. I kind of just went off the dome with this video. And I'm very proud of myself for this video because, with every video, let me get some water. My throat's getting dry. With every video, I see progression and I see growth. My spirit is infinite. Don't get that wrong. Don't get that twisted. I have no age. Don't get that twisted. But within this vessel called Justin Travis, within this vessel, I am only 21 years of age. That's at least what he identifies with. That's what he's been told. That's not what he believes. That's not what he knows. But Justin is 21. I am infinite though. I am infinite. I have no age. I am consciousness. I'm not even consciousness. I have no name. So understanding that, the growth that I have for myself and the foresight that I see within myself, not only within myself, but within my immediate family and just what I'm building for myself, is such a beautiful thing, man. And I'm just so grateful for myself and grateful that I'm able to embody that gratefulness and that gratitude and attract that to to my ego, attract that to my being. And I'm proud of my girl too, because she's on her journey as well. She's so beautiful. She's so divine. She's a goddess. I ain't gonna lie, right? I'm not gonna call her a hoe. I'm not gonna call her a bitch. Why would I put a low vibrational title on her? That doesn't make any sense. But I love her, and I love myself as well. And, you know, like I was saying, just the path that I'm going along, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going to be at. Every single day I put in the work. Every single day. Every single day I do my push-ups. Every single day. In some way, shape, or form, yes, I can always do better, and I'm going to do better. But some way, shape, or form, I am benefiting my spirit, whether that be listening to my audiobooks, reading, journaling, working out, going for a walk, taking my dog on a walk, being mindful of my thoughts, being mindful of the experience at hand, presently. Right, and there's so many more things that you could do. Diets? What else? The words you speak? The mindset that you allow yourself to have? And just how you move. Ultimately. But that's all I got for this video. I hope that you gained something from this video and took it into your own alchemization and move forward with that into your own life, Justin, speak into your own experience. Because don't take what I say as truth, because through speaking through a language, you have to understand that I have no truth through the language that I speak, but there is truth within the coding that I am spellcasting to you. There is truth within it, but sit with that, observe that, listen to that, digest that, and alchemize that into your own experience. Eat clean, think clean, take care of yourselves. Peace.